Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. It's nice to have you here.
Yeah. As always, that just felt like absolute heaven to play with you. I really appreciate your mastery with the bowls. I honestly feel like there's few people who really play the bowls to the depth that you do. And I really...
That's very kind of you to say that. Yeah, I mean...
He's humble.
Spent some time with the singing bowls. It's been an 8-year journey. So, yeah. I mean, I'll say I could have done more. You know, I'm learning even 8 years into it more. You know, there's always more, even though it is so simple in so many ways. You know, in the idea of approaching an instrument, like, you know, the history that comes with piano and guitar. You know, there's not much like other than, you know, Buddha's enlightenment, which I directly connect that to the bowls. I think his Buddhist enlightenment to me was his music, the sound, you know, and if there is something that embodies his consciousness, it is the bowls, you know, and his teachings. So yeah, we're all blessed to have him on the West because we need them desperately. To just be honest, you know, I mean, where everything's at, you know, a little bowl never hurt. Is it the answer to everything? Not at all, you know, but is it a pleasing tone? Yeah. And, you know, if you have trauma around your relationship with sound, no matter what the source, then I feel like, yeah, it's definitely a great antidote. Is that what you would call it? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
A great medicine.
Yeah.
Great teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it came into my life when I needed it the most, and it activated my ass. In a very fierce but gentle way, you know, and it's taking me all over the world, you know, and my students that work with me, and I teach them these little tiny techniques. You know, I was just with one of my students last night, and he was just like, dude, I started, you know, practicing the way that you play, you know, or whatever, the approach of chord progressions, or, you know, just like how all music that has harmony in it, and how that kind of trots, or how that works, you know, to create a story, you know, that you want to tell. Nothing specific, but it's just something that comes from your heart. If you have kind of like just a little bit of background, it helps, but you don't need it, you know. It can be as simple as lining up your bowls, playing 2 at a time, and feeling that relationship between both of those bowls. You go, wow, you know, it's beautiful. And then what's the next step in the progression of what you want to share? And so, yeah, when you're working with harmony, you're bringing the emotion into the field. And I think emotionally, we could all use some strength these times in order to stay more grounded in the storms that will come. You know, they always come, right? So how relaxed and how harmonically grounded can you be in your day-to-day life when, you know, something really is triggering you, you know? It's okay to have the trigger, you know, it just brings awareness to maybe something that is compromised and you need to harmonize. So, you know, we're all in different paths, and, you know, yeah, I'm glad it came in when I needed it, because I was calling it in. So,
me too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're not timid about playing bowls that are, you know, kind of next to each other on the scale, which technically, if you thought of a piano and you play the 2 keys next to each other, you know, it's like chopsticks. It's dissonant when you play that.
Yeah.
But you're very fluid with that. And can you speak a little bit about bringing that dissonance into the mix?
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun part, right? When you can, like, not all be just really cheesy, and you can bring a little bit of something that's a little bit more dense to the lightness that is being voiced through the playing. So I can just maybe an example might help.
Sure.
So obviously when you hit the two notes that are right next to each other on the piano is what Shelly's talking about, is this, and that is like kind of startling, right? So it's a matter of just picking notes that are a little bit have more space, right? The more space the harmonies are from each other, the more emotionally grounded it can stay for someone that's listening as the player or the person that's listening. And then when there's enough space, like more importantly than making the sound is the space in between the sounds. So I feel like with sometimes bowl players, it's kind of something like this. And I'm just quickly giving you an example. It's just kind of like a one-trick pony, and it's okay. That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. But why I love the alchemy bowls is when you strike them, they just go really warm into their pitch. There's no bending or warping from impact, like our predecessors, classic frosteds had. So they just go straight into that warmth with no warping or impact bend. And so once you have the harmony going right there, you can pick a different one. So that's another example. Or here is another example. Or here's another example. Some of those sounded okay with each other, some of them didn't. And you're like, okay, let's try that again.
So with the bowls, when you strike two bowls and you have that perfect harmony, and then you move to the next two and strike them, it creates another harmony playing at the same time. And so now you have four bowls that are kind of overlapping each other.
Yeah.
If you're playing a piano, by the time you hit the next chord, the last one is kind of faded out and gone. It's there a little bit in the background.
Yeah, there's a bit in the background.
With the bowls, they resonate.
They sustain a long time.
Longer.
So with this technique, I'm showing a really quick example. You play really slow, actually, and you let things breathe, and you let the bowls do the work for you. So I'll just try to give you an example. So it's like... Got two different sets up here, so getting a little weird and crazy. It's okay to get all kind of weird like that. You just go, okay, did I like that? Do I not? And you just find your way through what is in front of you. So, that's just the idea. And then finding that little bit of dissonance is a matter of just listening and feeling that space, So if the C was dissonant with the harp, it's a matter of how can I place that where it's not too startling, And it's just a matter of listening. I'm not really an expert. I've just played bowls for a while, so it's just a matter of listening. We all can train our ears to hear what we want based on what's in front of us.
That's the most important thing, really, is the deep listening. And I mean, I'm sure you find it too, but the instruments always tell me what to do next.
Okay.
And sometimes I'm surprised. I may be going for one bowl, but then I'll hear another one in my head, and it's asking to be played.
Yeah.
Dissonance, I find, is really important because, our lives by all means aren't perfect. It's not all harmony. And the dissonance makes it feel real, almost accessible. And it's also that you have to bring the shadow to the light. Can't leave it in the closet because it just festers. You got to drag it out every now and then. So sometimes that.
Yeah, it's very appropriate.
Yeah, and then you bring it back home.
Yeah, it's another aspect of the human experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess at the end of it, I love how you close there. We're all trying to get back home. That feeling, that sense of home is, I feel like for a lot of us truth seekers, is definitely part of our experience here.
I heard the sound of the bowls in my head in my 20s.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't duplicate it for decades. And then I found the bowls and said, that's it. That's what I've been searching for.
Wow.
And then shortly after I found the bowls, I was studying with this very cool teacher one day, and he said, sound, tone, is the common language of the universe.
Yeah.
And I said, that's right, Jackson.
Right.
That's
it's a universal language.
Yeah.
We can all agree.
We all agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to disagree, especially when it comes to bowls. I feel like in the marketplace there, people are buying things, but they're being fed something a little bit maybe that isn't what it really is. And that's also a huge issue in the world of singing bowls. There's people that are selling and sharing them in good intention, but they're not tuning them properly, in my opinion. It's kind of like you go buy a guitar and they don't teach you how to tune it, but you go on stage and you start playing an untuned guitar, and like everyone's walking out because they intuitively are not tuned to that type of thing. It's a repelling kind of thing. So you get that a lot with people coming into this for the first time, not knowing anything, and they're just like, they had a sound bath experience, and it was really beautiful, obviously, because there is some amazing musicians that know what they're doing, or not musicians, whatever you want to call you is fine. And then people get inspired, they go out and buy a set, and then it's like playing an untuned guitar for people. And they go, well, I got my set, and I know that there's something off about it.
Why don't mine sound like yours?
Yeah, or whatever, right? Yeah, so, and that goes for the harp, like I remember when I first got my harp, and it turned into Alex tuning, versus like, this is the standardized tuning, for this instrument, and that's okay to go out there and explore, but it's always important to come back to the original aspect of what the intention was behind keeping the instrument in that sacred voicing, or whatever you want to call it, or back home, right? So I learned that as I've developed a skill with tuning and stuff like that, and that's been my contribution to my students, teaching them tuning, teaching them little skills on techniques. But it's pretty simple at the end of the day, and can be quite an investment as well. So yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Get insurance.
Get insurance. Yeah, that's always helpful. Yeah. I mean, the thing with the bowls is, they're not only sound devices, they're beautiful handmade pieces of art, that are all original to their nature.
Every single one. Yeah.
So that's also the other aspect. And I don't necessarily think that you necessarily need to play that for it to be an active entity in your space that's holding all the things that it holds. For example, quartz is a massive amplifier. That's the reason why we can do what we're doing and broadcast this, because we have a quartz grid, aka the iPhone or whatever phone you have. It's all quartz technology, This is just a different application. It's amplifying everything. It's storing the information. It's, we projected it with our intention, where we would love it to go, whether something else is happening beyond our understanding, or I'm sure there always is, right? We love to bring our intention into things, in this world. Or just being open to seeing what can happen for people is really amazing. But yeah, being the creatives that we are, I'm more of a feels person. I don't necessarily need the data to justify what feels right for me. And bowls, once again, feel like they could be helpful for just about anyone.
I agree. Receiving or playing, either side of the fence.
Yeah, if you don't want to play, then have someone play for you. Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I love when people play singing bowls for me.
Me too.
They're like, you play them all the time, don't you? Yeah. Well, why would you want someone to play them for you? Oh no, I love it. It feels so good. Why not? I mean, as long as it's not borderline like just chaos which is sometimes appropriate, but when people are playing, that's sometimes where I like to go. I like to, even with the hand pans, I like to take it to a place where sometimes like, is this appropriate? Is it too much? I don't know.
Every now and then I'll choose instruments I'll choose 2 string instruments that are actually dissonant and play them at the same time, just to kind of push the envelope a little bit, to stretch people, but to find a way that it's still beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really messed up, but still perfect.
You said it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All we need is a cup of tea right now, I think.
Yeah, we could do bowls, tea, and chat.
We'll have the whole table set for health. We'll have our bowls and our tuning forks, right, and our crystal goblets. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
this was fun.
Yeah, it's been fun.
This was fun. Maybe, maybe I'll circle back around again and we'll try a different.
There's more projects to come.
Orchestration.
We've been talking about also working on some dance music together, so that's always fun. Important to.
He said it. It's
dance.
On tape.
Yeah. New music is coming. Yeah, for sure.
That's right.
In all shapes and sizes and forms. It's important to understand that, it's okay to like all forms of music. I've been able to travel the world and experience lots of music, and it's all spiritual, Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's all an expression, I woke up this morning and there was just nothing else that would satiate me except this Italian rock song.
There you go.
Had to rock out.
When you got to, you got to just press play.
Trust it all. You don't judge.
Yeah.
But I do inspire people right now to, when it comes to sound healing music, to be discerning. It's okay to demand that your sound healers are credible, have the right intention, and recently for training I was asked to create a sound healer's oath. And the first one is do no harm.
Yeah. That's nice.
People look at me like, how could you possibly do harm, unless you throw a crystal bowl at somebody, or hit them with your harp.
Yeah.
But if the intention isn't there, we're playing this for the purpose of going deep within and working with the inner structures of people. And the intention is to restructure people in a beneficial way. And so, it's okay if you're somewhere and somebody's banging on some instruments in the name of sound healing and it feels violent or too hard in any way whatsoever. It's okay to
like me playing the handpan just a second ago.
Oh no, that was
I think I clipped the mic once or twice. Sorry.
I think we forgive him, right?
Yeah.
We forgive him. That's so silly.
Sorry.
I wound up. I've been in sound healings before and said, "This isn't a sound healing. This is a mass exorcism."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when people are playing not soft and beautiful and harmonious, but really, as loud and hard as you can go, almost like it's death rock.
Yeah.
But on these kind of instruments.
Well, that's part of the artist's dilemma, whether you're conscious of it or not, right? Is my idea of when you're sharing or expressing art, whether it's music or painting or whatever, it's either coming, in my mind, from two places. You're either coming from a place where you want this to feel good, no matter what the medium is, or you're coming from a place of trauma, and that's what people are feeling, basically. And that's how I see it, but maybe there's more to it than that.
No, it's really true. So I lived in New York City and I worked in the arts for a long time. So I was always going to independent art and performance art shows. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning, everything was interesting. And then I got to a certain point in my journey when if someone was going up on stage because they had black sticky darkness inside of them that they needed to express to get it out, I chose not to be in the audience of that anymore. Okay. I said, okay, I'm to a point in my journey where I don't want other people working their stuff out on me.
Okay.
I choose my environment, my art, I choose the frequency of my art. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a while for people to get there to say, oh, this art makes me feel crappy. Or this art makes me feel angry or sad.
Right.
Or sad for the artist. Even if it's really, really good. It can be amazing, great art. Yeah. Yeah, in fine arts or music or anything like that. The question is how does it make you feel?
Right.
And there are days, when you might need to touch anger inside of you so that you can scream or that you can cry.
Be activated.
And that's when you're using that kind of art or sound purposefully. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so choose.
Yeah, absolutely.
I choose blissfully beautiful on pretty much a constant basis now, except for that one Italian moment this morning.
We all have those moments. We need them. And what I mentioned was, whether it's an artist that wants to just create something that feels good, or if it's something that they really need to express from an experience that was traumatizing, it's not about it being wrong or right. That's never the case with art, right? It's just, it is what it is, and you can do with it whatever you want. If you want to stay in that environment, grab it all you can get, if that's not what you're resonating with, then, try something more gentle, I guess, that, comes from a tension of, I want people to just feel good, and do no harm, right? So, there's times where I want to play really softly with the hand pans or the guitar, and there's some times where you just want to rock out, and that's the release that I needed because of how much, I've put on my plate in the aspects of my life with business or whatever it is, the things that stress me out a little bit, it's quite a dance, and I'm really excited to be on this journey with all of you. Sometimes not so much, but most of the time, yes. 99.95%, is the yes, I'm happy to be here. Because we're blessed. We're so blessed, and I hope you got something out of this.
I certainly did.
Yeah, we both did.
Yeah.
So where does this goes on the Instagram, or where is?
This is actually
YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, sweet.
And if we can figure out how to get it to Instagram from there, we should.
Okay. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But many blessings, thousands of blessings, and we'll see you whenever.
See you in the ethers. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Sure.
Many blessings. Thanks, Alex.